Welcome back. This is Storytime of Lugh, and if you do not remember or did not see the previous video, Lugh is a god of the sun and light, much like Brigid. If you saw that video, they share many attributes and characteristics, but are also different in that one is a warrior and the other one is primarily a healer. Like, she doesn't go out and go into battle. And while Lugh does heal, has some healing tendencies, it's not really his main focus in the way that hers is. So we are going to go over his unaliving of his grandfather, because we kind of did a very quick gloss of it, and my other version of this is more detailed, and so I want to go through it and share that story with you. So that is where we're going to begin. The Second Battle of Mag Tuired. And I will continue apologizing for the pronunciation. I am doing my best, but here we go. The Second Battle of Mag Tuired is a central tale in Celtic mythology. It is actually one that comes up in almost every... Well, in fact, the Dagda mentions it. I think we went over it with Brigid, at least very briefly, maybe? Maybe we didn't talk about it with her, but it is a story that comes up often, this second battle between the Tuatha De Danann and the Fomorians. So what happens is that the Tuatha De Danann were a race of gods and goddesses. I'm just going to go over that real fast every time to make sure that new people understand that these are the Celtic gods, essentially. And they ruled over Ireland. The Fomorians, a race of monsters or monstrous beings, sought to dominate and subjugate the Tuatha De Danann, and then probably also the mortals. But Brez, half Fomorian and half Tuatha De Danann, which indicates, like Lugh's story himself, shows that there can be dalliances at the very least between them. But in any case, Brez became the king of the Tuatha De Danann. However, his harsh and unjust rule led to widespread discontent. So it seems that he leaned more towards his Fomorian ancestry than he did the Tuatha De Danann, because so far all of them have been pretty upstanding characters who I would not be unhappy to have as my rulers. They're compassionate and kind and cool, so, but the Fomorians are supposed to be kind of the other side of that coin, so to speak. Okay, so Lugh, a young and skilled warrior, arrived at the court of the Tuatha De Danann and offered his services. And if you didn't watch last video, what happens is that the king of the Fomorians, I think it was I keep wanting to say Balrog, but it's not. It's Balor. That's what it is. Balor received a prophecy in which his grandson would unalive him, and so he locked up his daughter, but a druidess helped this other, in the Tuatha De Danann, I can't remember, Khan, to go and copulate. I don't know. They had relations, and thus Lugh was born. Balor found out, wanted him drowned, but he was saved by Tuatha De Danann, went to their court, learned how to fight and all the things, and became aware of this prophecy in which he was going to unalive his grandfather, and kind of had this determination to fulfill it, because why wouldn't you when he tried to drown you and locked up your mom? Self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't know. I think half the time these situations could be avoided if you were just nice to the person who is supposedly supposed to come and do something awful. If you make them not want to, then they're not going to, unless other circumstances happen, in which case, destiny, I guess. Okay, so Lugh arrives. He offers his services. He is known as the master of many arts and excelled in various skills such as smithcraft, poetry, music, but most importantly in the situation, combat. He demonstrated his abilities to the Tuatha De Danann, and they recognized his value and welcomed him into their ranks. Aware of the impending conflict with the Fomorians, Lugh and the Tuatha De Danann prepared for battle. Lugh took on a leadership role, organizing the defense and rallying the gods and goddesses for the fight, and he devised strategies and inspired his people with his courage and determination. The battle at Mag Tuired was a fierce and brutal situation, and the Tuatha De Danann, led by Lugh, fought valiantly against the formidable Fomorians. Lugh's prowess in combat was unmatched, and he wielded his magical spear, Ge Asel. He was able to wield his magical spear with deadly precision. The spear was one of the 4 treasures of the Tuatha De Danann and had the power to defeat any enemy. And in our last video, we mentioned how if it was thrown, it couldn't be stopped. It went until it was until it found its mark, which is a lot like if you ever saw the 10th Kingdom. The queen gives the huntsman a crossbow that will go until it hits the heart of a creature, and that became a very sad situation. But strangely, this world's very messed up, and he went with it. So it's a good show. It's like a 10-part series. I'm not sure. It's not very long, but it's not a movie. If you like fairy tale stuff, I recommend it. Anyway, the climax of the battle came when Lugh faced his grandfather, Balor. We mentioned this before, but Balor was the leader of the Fomorians. He had a single eye, and it was a powerful eye that could kill anyone it gazed upon. So a bit of a, what's that D&D monster? I don't remember. Lugh went and decided he was going to defeat Balor and devised a plan to fulfill his destiny. With incredible speed and agility, Lugh used a single sling. Lugh used a sling to launch a stone at Balor's eye. The stone struck true, piercing Balor's eye and unaliving him instantly. Balor's death turned the tide of the battle in favor of the Tuatha De Danann. With Balor defeated, the Fomorians were driven back, and the Tuatha De Danann emerged victorious. Lugh's leadership and bravery was celebrated, and he was hailed as a hero. The victory of Mag Tuired secured the Tuatha De Danann's rule over Ireland and brought peace and prosperity to the land. Lugh's role in the second battle cemented his legacy as a powerful and revered figure in Celtic mythology. His story is a testament to the themes of prophecy, destiny, and the triumph of good over evil, which seems to be a reoccurring theme in our Celtic pantheon. Our second story is Lugh and the Craftsman. One day, Lugh arrived at the court of the Tuatha De Danann, seeking to join their ranks and offer his services. The Tuatha De Danann were a highly skilled and accomplished group, and each member was known for their expertise in a particular craft or art. To gain entry, Lugh had to prove his worth by demonstrating a unique skill that no one else possessed. The gatekeeper asked Lugh, "What art do you practice?" Lugh replied, "I am a carpenter." The gatekeeper responded, "We already have a skilled carpenter." Lugh continued listing his many talents. "I am a smith." The gatekeepers replied, "We already have a master smith." "I am a warrior." "We already have a great warrior." "I'm a harpist." "We already have an accomplished harpist." "I am a poet." "We already have a renowned poet." "I am a physician." "We already have a healer." "I am a sorcerer." "We already have a powerful sorcerer." Undeterred, Lugh asked, "Is there anyone among you who possesses all of these skills combined?" The gatekeeper admitted that no one held mastery in all the arts simultaneously. Recognizing Lugh's unparalleled versatility and talent, the Tuatha De Danann welcomed him into their ranks and honored him with the Salmadalnak, meaning Master of Many Arts. Lugh's diverse abilities made him an invaluable member of the Tuatha De Danann. He contributed to their society not only through his skills in craftsmanship, healing, and poetry, but also through his wisdom and leadership in times of conflict. The Festival of Lugh Nasad. Lugh, which we discussed in our last video, is also known as Lammas and is one of the 4 major Celtic seasonal festivals and is celebrated on August 1st, marking the beginning of the harvest season and honors the gods, or the god Lugh specifically, who established the festival in memory of his foster mother, Tealchu. Lugh's foster mother cleared the plains of Ireland for agriculture and died of exhaustion from her efforts. To honor her sacrifice and ensure a bountiful harvest, Lugh instituted the festival of Lugh. The festival celebrates the first fruits of the harvest and pays tribute to the agricultural efforts of the community. Lugh is a time of feasting, games, and thanksgiving for the bounty of the earth. It symbolizes the ripening of crops and the abundance of nature, marking a period of prosperity and communal celebration. Central to Lugh is the communal feast, where the first fruits of the harvest, such as grains, berries, and vegetables, are shared among the community. Bread, often made from the newly harvested grain, is a significant symbol of the festival. Athletic competitions, known as the Tealchu Games, or Tealchu Games, are held in honor of Tealchu. These games include foot races, horse races, wrestling, and other physical contests, reflecting Lugh's warrior prowess and the community's vitality. Bonfires are lit to celebrate the festival, symbolizing the light and warmth of the sun, which nourishes the crops. Participants may dance around the bonfires and jump over them as a symbol of purification and protection. Lugh is also a time to showcase and celebrate craftsmanship. People may create and exchange handmade goods such as woven items, pottery, and tools, reflecting Lugh's role as a master of many arts. Offerings of the first fruits, bread, and flowers are made to Lugh and the spirits of the land. Prayers and invocations seek blessings for a continued fruitful harvest and protection for the community. And this story continues into modern times. Modern pagans and followers of Celtic spirituality continue to celebrate Lugh, which we've discussed in our previous video. They do so with rituals that honor the harvest and Lugh's legacy, and these observances may include altar setups with seasonal offerings, candle lighting, and communal feasts. And cultural and historical reenactments of Lugh are held in various regions, celebrating the rich heritage of Celtic tradition. These festivals often include performances, storytelling, traditional music, and dance. And like any good story, this has symbolism and themes. So Lugh emphasizes the themes of harvest, abundance, and gratitude. It is a time to acknowledge the hard work that goes into cultivating the land and celebrate the reward of that labor. The festival fosters a sense of community and unity, bringing people together to share in the joys and responsibilities of the harvest. It reinforces social bonds and the importance of cooperation. Lugh highlights the cycles of nature and the changing seasons. It serves as a reminder of the interconnectedness of all living things and the continuous cycle of growth, harvest, and renewal. So, kind of a story, kind of not. Lugh becomes a member of the Tuatha De Danann, and then the festival is not only to honor him, but also his foster mother. Our next story is Lugh and Bres. Bres, whose full name was Eochaid Bres, was a half Fomorian and half Tuatha De Danann. We mentioned them at the very first story. He became the king of the Tuatha De Danann after the first battle of Mag Tuired, where their previous king, Nuada, lost his hand. Despite his noble lineage, Bres was not a fair or just ruler, and his harsh policies and favoritism toward the Fomorians led to widespread dissatisfaction among the Tuatha De Danann. Bres's rule was characterized by heavy tributes and oppression, and the Tuatha De Danann were forced to labor for the Fomorians. Very interesting how the Celtic gods were at one point subjugated by what is considered an evil race of people, monstrous people. But their once prosperous society suffered under his tyranny, and the people grew increasingly unhappy and sought a new leader to restore balance and justice. Lugh, known for his exceptional skills and wisdom, rose to prominence during this time. Recognizing the need for change, he sought to challenge Brez and bring an end to his unjust rule. Lugh's reputation as a master of many arts and his bravery in battle made him a natural leader. Now, in the challenge, Lugh confronted Brez for his right to rule. To prove his worthiness as a leader, Lugh demonstrated his diverse talents, showcasing his abilities in combat, craftsmanship, music, and more. The Tuatha De Danann, impressed by Lugh's skills and determination, rallied behind him. Lugh's challenge to Brez was not merely a display of skill, it was also a call for justice. He highlighted Brez's failure as a ruler and the suffering of the Tuatha De Danann under his rule. And with the support of the people, Lugh succeeded in overthrowing Brez and ousting Brez from power. Brez, realizing his defeat, sought mercy from Lugh. He offered to share his knowledge of agriculture and other skills in exchange for his life. Lugh, displaying wisdom and compassion, agreed to spare Brez in return for his contributions to the prosperity of the land. With Brez removed from power, Lugh assumed leadership of the Tuatha De Danann, and his rule brought a return of justice, prosperity, and harmony to their society. The oppressive tributes and labor demands were lifted, and the Tuatha De Danann thrived once more. The story of Lugh and Brez underscores the importance of fair and just leadership. It highlights Lugh's qualities as a wise and compassionate leader who values the well-being of his people. Brez's redemption through his contributions to agriculture also reflects themes of growth and renewal, and Lugh's leadership and his triumph over Brez solidified his legacy as a revered figure in Celtic mythology. Is that our last one? That was our last story. So, the Celts have this very interesting thing of keeping their stories of their Celtic pantheon kind of focused. It's very different from the Greek gods that we were talking about before, where I had to kind of select which ones I was going to share because in some cases there were just so many. But I hope that you enjoyed Lugh's stories. They were kind of central around one major event, but still kind of interesting to see his growth throughout all of the stories and how he interacted with people. I hope you enjoyed Lugh. We're going to move on after this video to our next Celtic god. I think it's the Morrigan or the Morrigan. So that'll be interesting. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. But as for now, I hope you're having, or you will have, or are having, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you continue to have a wonderful day. And if it hasn't been a wonderful day, I hope it becomes a wonderful day for you. Please be kind. Please be just amazing people. Pursue your dreams. And I will see you guys next time.